Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Jessica Lahore, and we're back with another Jess Talk. That's right, and this one is all about bullying, the meanie heads. Why do we do it, bullies? Urgh. But before we get into this episode, per usual, subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you've hit the bell for notifications and you're not missing out on any Lahore content, because if you are missing out, then you're bullying me, and you don't want that. All right, let's get into it. Bullying.
Attention Lahore, attention Lahore, attention Lahore, attention. Here I am walking down the street, seeing all the boys trying to take a peek. Shorts pulled up and chest out right. Come on boys, just take a bite. Look but don't touch, spin it round and round. Crazy.
All right, so bullying. Let's talk about it. I believe that every human experiences bullying in their life in some capacity, whether it is constant and continuous, whether it is, one moment that changed your life and really impacted you, whether you're an adult or a kid. And the thing is, as much as kids get bullied, and I think that they're the most impressionable when it comes to bullying, it can still really fucking hurt as an adult too. Bullying is something that I think doesn't matter how old you get, no matter how mature you get, is something that you can never escape in your life. And that's just a really crappy thing to say out loud, but that's just the reality. So I've been bullied. I know many people that have been bullied. There was even a time in my life where I would consider myself the bully. And I can tell you from experience, or even looking back, I've grown a lot and learned a lot about myself, and I think that's why I no longer bully other people. When it comes to bullying, I think that truly it boils down to a lot, the phrase, hurt people hurt people. I think that's true. I think a lot of people that bully others, it comes from a place of resentment, jealousy, lack of understanding, insecurity of their own selves. I think honestly, when other people bully others, it comes from that place of really wishing that they could be them. I really do. Or it comes from a place that they're just so unhappy with themselves that if they bring somebody down that is an easier target, then they will feel better about hating themselves. It's a really weird thing, and I take that from the experience of when I bullied people. I went through a phase, I think it was more high school phase, of course, earlier high school, and maybe even earlier college, where I was really unhappy with myself. I was very unhappy with myself. And I didn't bully people in the way that, stereotypical bully, I'm going to fat shame you, or I'm going to, try to come up to you and tear you down. I was kind of more along the lines of aggressive, I want you to hurt and make you feel stupid kind of bullying. I hate saying that out loud, because that's definitely not the place that I come from today, but I did it with so much intention of making sure that person, and I think that came from my dad, honestly. Mistress Isabel Brooks said it in an episode when she was on Drag Race that her first bully was her family. And I definitely resonated with that. That my first bully that I really related to was my dad. And I've said this before on different Jess Talks before, but it's really different when your family is the one, or your dad is the one, or someone that is not supposed to, makes you feel the worst ever. From feeling like I was too heavy at times, and that was a trigger, to hating my laugh, which I've talked about before, to feeling stupid or an idiot, or feeling insignificant, or feeling like I had no control or power, or I wasn't smart whatsoever. And I think that's why a lot of that came out in those times in my life where I wanted other people to feel that way, because that's how I felt with my father. But I think it's such a true statement that I wasn't one of those kids that got bullied a lot in school. And if I did, I had a really great support system of friends and even teachers, and I didn't get the brunt of it like other students could have gotten it, or even stories that we see even to this day, that kids are getting chased into the bathroom and beaten up and teased every day, and for being gay, for being feminine, for looking different, for their size, for the color of their skin. There are some horror stories, and I've experienced bullying, but I would say not to that extent. When I was bullied really, really heavily at my freshman year of high school, I had a group of female friends that shut that down for me immediately. 4 or 5 girls. I can't remember any of their names except for one, Coda. And she and her friends and my friends went up to these guys that were bullying me, you know, got them in a corner, pretty much in the lockers, like very what you'd see in a movie, and said, "You're not going to do this anymore. You're not going to bully Zach anymore. You're done." And I didn't get bullied anymore. Of course, I got into fights with people and people that didn't like me, and rumor mills start and things like that. But that really shut down a lot of like the physical altercation of bullying. I never got like confronted in that way again. But I had a lot of people talk bad about me, spread rumors about me, make up things about me. And that never stopped even to last week. Like that is just something that has continued on. People will always talk about you.
I heard a rumor.
But my mindset on bullying has changed so much. For myself, at least. And it takes, you know, I think I've built up such a thick skin that bullying has to really hit certain pinpoint needle marks for me to actually feel affected by it. When people attack very specific aspects of my character, when people attack very specific aspects of my work ethic or my intention, and they have no knowledge, some of those things really get to me. And I can't avoid that. And that's just how I am now. I am no longer affected by being called a faggot or slang words like gay, queer, or in a negative way. I'm not affected by people calling me overweight or big or anything like that anymore. I'm not affected by people calling me too feminine or too masculine or making fun of the way that my body is shaped. Or that my dad didn't love me or anything like that. Those are just things that don't affect me anymore. And I don't know when I got to that point of just not caring, but I just don't care. If you're going to really try to bully me and hurt me and make my feelings hurt, you're going to have to really try. I won't give you the satisfaction of it. But then we have to look at how this impacts younger crowds, younger youth, queer youth even. And it really sucks. I carried a lot of those moments for being bullied for my weight from high school for many, many, many years. It triggered my eating disorders. It made me suicidal. It made me depressed. And there was one person in particular, and I won't name them because I'm friends with them now. I reclaimed that friendship, and I would never put that on them because I've moved past it. But I hated her forever. I hated this girl from high school forever, and I blamed her for the reason why all of my eating disorders started, because she embarrassed me and made me feel awful in front of so many people, and I didn't have any friends. I did have friends, but I didn't have any friends in those realms and those clubs because of that. Like, I hated myself for many years. And I think part of therapy and part of healing is, you know, moving on and getting past that and realizing that if your older self has changed, you have to almost forgive that younger version of that person. I would want people to forgive my younger self, knowing that my older self has grown and changed. And if you were to come to me, I would apologize and let you know that I did not want that as an impact and I'm sorry. And part of me doesn't even want to bring it up. It's like it's like putting salt in a wound that you've already calloused over and healed from, and it still exists. You'll never forget it. You've been affected by it. It sucks. It happened. But I would have to rip it open again, bring it up to her, even though she doesn't know about it. We've become friends, address it, and pour more salt in it to relive it. Then go through her apology stuff, which then opens a wound for her because she doesn't realize that this impacted her. And she's a changed person. She's a different person. And my opinion is that you have to get to a place of forgiving. Personally, I think that you have to get to a place of forgiving younger versions of people in different time periods of their life in order to heal yourself. And some of you may be sitting and watching this and being like, fuck that, like, I am not going to forgive this person ever. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes forgiveness doesn't come in the sense of forgetting, which we say a lot, like, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you forget it. But how much are you going to let that control and moderate your life the longer you won't move on from it? How do you grow from it? How do you callous over that wound so that you can continue to grow and be a stronger person with thicker skin? You know, I'm not saying thicker skin warrants and allows people to bully you or make it okay for people to bully you in any way, shape, or form. But a lot of the reason that people bully others is because they get the satisfaction and power from how it affects you. You get satisfaction knowing that it bothers me. And if I don't allow you to at least see that it bothers me, or I don't stand up for myself in that moment, or I don't shut it down, you can't have that over me. You can't have that power over me. But if I break down, if I show the emotional side of that, all it's going to do is trigger that bully to keep going at it and keep mocking you, calling you names, pointing out your insecurities. And there are some people that can, like bullies, there are some bullies that can't be affected back. I hate saying his name, but Trump is one of those people. Trump doesn't give a fuck what you say about him because at least you're talking about him. And sometimes that silence is so golden. I have such a strong belief of not reposting anything about him, even saying his name, and that includes this podcast, like anything that I do, because there's a weird satisfaction that I know that he gets that no matter what they're saying about him as a bully, he's going to continue to thrive off of it. And I'm not going to contribute to that. I don't repost anything. I don't share him. I don't say his name. I refer to him. People know who I'm talking about. It's not cute. It's not cute. It gives a weird power to that person. It's a narcissistic element too. Like, hey, you can call me a crook and a convicted felon and a rapist and homophobic and xenophobic and misogynistic and racist. But hey, I still have millions of people that support me and are following me, and you're talking about me. So as long as you're talking about me, hey, I love it. And it just makes me sick to my stomach. That is what a bully, a full-fledged bully that has never grown out of it looks like. It's a perfect example. I would say that there's a lot of people that learn a lot of life lessons from being bullied or from being a previous bully. You know, like how to interact with people, how to treat people appropriately, you know, learning from your mistakes, how to have actual conversations, and like how do you change your bullying to effective communication? How do you address what you're feeling with somebody? Therapy will help you. If you're a mean person, go to therapy. If you are a self-hating person, go to therapy. Go to therapy. I'm a strong believer that if that person's not in the room, you should speak up for them just as much as if they were in the room. If they're your friend or if someone is saying something untrue, you have options to say, hey, I need you to stop talking about that person because that's not how I feel and this is making me uncomfortable, and you stand up for yourself and that person at the same time. 2, you shut them down and you defend that person because they're not there to defend themselves in their name. Or 3, they're in the room and you have to logically look at what is being said and you have to defend them. You just have to do it. And that's whether you know them or not. If you see something wrong, you have to speak up. You don't wait for someone else to speak up. You have to do it. If you see it, you stop it. If you see it, you need to shut it down. You don't wait quietly and go off to the self and you don't want to be bothered. If something is wrong, injustice of some kind is happening, you have to be the one to actively make the change in that moment. There's no excuse for it. Don't be the person that walks away and is like, well, man, I should have said something. I should have stuck up for them. And all of a sudden you see them on the news and they're dead. Don't be that person that watches something go down and then when other people go to fix it, oh, well, now it's okay because other people are there. Take the initiative, step up for people that are not in the room, that are in the room, that are being attacked, that are being bullied, that are being treated wrong. That's anywhere from customer service people that don't deserve it, and it's not. You see how I said don't deserve it because sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. I would say like bullying is never okay. And you can't mix bullying with like being mistreated either. I'm not saying it is okay to bully somebody back because they're bullying you, but I am saying you don't have to take it and you can shut something down and call somebody out and still be a bad bitch if somebody is getting a numerous number of chances and they need to be put in their place. That's different to me. Don't fuck with me. What's the phrase? Like, I'm the kindest person you'll ever meet until you mess with me.
Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
And that's exactly how I am. How many chances have I given you to learn this lesson? Now it's time to come full force and put you in your place. Have a seat. If this is the only way you're going to listen, you're going to learn, let's make it happen. Let's take the ring off. Let's get into it. Now, I've never gotten into a physical fight as a bully. There have been a couple times that I've almost gotten into physical altercations with bullies, but I've never actually gotten into a physical fist fight with anybody. Almost with my dad once. That was interesting. Biggest bully. And I would have, oh God, I wanted to so bad. I wanted to hurt him so bad. I've never in my life in that moment felt that way until that day. Yeah, I do think that it's okay in some situation, but I wouldn't call it bullying. I would say standing up for yourself. I'd be like, or standing up for somebody else, like standing up for the situation. Bullying is okay when you get to a place where that is the only solution. And the thing is, you're not bullying them in the same way. You're not going at them and be like, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid. You're saying, look at what you're doing. This is so disrespectful. Who do you think you are? Let's have a seat and talk about this. You're completely wrong for this. Look at how you're affecting people. You need to grow up. You don't have to use derogatory names or words or name calling to get something across, because then you're making it okay for other people to do that same thing. You calling somebody fat in a negative way or stupid in a negative way, even if they're the worst person on this world, even if they're that guy that we don't talk about, makes it feel like it's okay for other people to call other people that, when you could call him all of the other things that are true: racist, misogynistic, xenophobic. Those are more impactful. Have I ever had a bully that was not receptive to making changes in their life? Oh, absolutely. There's several people that come to mind in the drag world, in my high school life, my college life, and I cut them out. You know, when you don't give them that power, they have nothing to feed off of. Cut them out. They will make a mess of themselves. Karma is a bitch. Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. It's true though. Karma will catch up with those people. You not responding or reacting to somebody doesn't make you weak or powerless. It will catch up with that person that deserves it. Sometimes silence and lack of acknowledging of someone's behavior is the best solution, because their behavior will speak for themselves. Other people see it, other people hear it, other people will respond to it. And some of those drag entertainers, they don't work. They're not booked. They don't have shows anymore. Venues don't want them. Nobody will book them. I can guarantee you that some of those people in high school and college, they're miserable in their life. They're probably divorced in a bad way. They're probably unhappy with their job, their life. They're probably aging poorly. They're unsuccessful, because if you carry those same practices, there's no way that you can continue to thrive. I mean, even with this person we don't speak of, it has caught up with them. Things come to light. Skeletons come out of the closet. Actions will be reprimanded if needed to be. Sometimes it just takes fucking forever for it to happen. But yeah, I know a lot of people that have not grown out of it and they're still suffering, and I know people that are completely different humans. And that's why I'm saying, like, I can't judge somebody from my experience 5 years ago. I don't have to forget it, or even 2 years ago. I don't have to forget it, but I have to allow my mind a willingness to observe them and see if there's any change. Has this person grown in any capacity? Because I'm so different from when I was 21 to 25 to 27 to now 31. I'm a very different human, to 18 to when I was in high school. I'm a very different person. And if you come to me and say, well, in high school you were awful, all I can do is say, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. But I'm not that person anymore. And I wish that was more like that in the drag community. There are people that still hold things, and to each their own, hold things against me from the drag community from 5 or 6, 7 years ago. To each their own. I can't change that. I can apologize for that moment and how it happened. But all I can do is encourage you to experience who I am as a person now. A rediscovered, confident, more socially, mentally aware, emotionally aware human that has different mindsets, goals, aspirations, and driving points. And my driving points aren't taking other people down or making them feel bad. They're uplifting people and making people feel powerful and strong and confident. And if you're struggling with those feelings because you're being bullied, knowing that the phrase, so cliche, it gets better, but you have to allow it to get better. It doesn't get better on its own. You have to put it in the work for it to get better. How are you changing your mind? How are you changing the people that you're around? How are you changing your living space, the things that make you happy, the career that you're in, the goals that you have? You have to put in the work, because sometimes you bully yourself. And don't be a victim of bullying yourself, because then you're just a sad victim of yourself. How are you going to let your past and your insecurities and all these things hold you down to bully yourself because you don't think you're capable? You have to make small, even minute changes to get away from bullying yourself, because when you stop bullying yourself, God, the amount of doors that open for you, the amount of success, happiness, the people that just are drawn to you is unmatchable. I would never believe the place that I'm in now 10 years ago if I didn't make the steps to take care of myself and realize that I deserve to not bully myself. I'm my biggest bully. My dad is my second biggest bully. I have a couple of pinpoint people in high school and in college that really affected me in my life that I don't hold against anymore. I want nothing to do with them, but they don't hold any merit to me anymore. I have people in the drag world that have negatively impacted me that I'll never forget, but I don't hold that against them anymore, because I've allowed myself to let it go, never forget, learn from it, grow from it, and become a more complete person, just with a lot of calluses, a lot of marks, a lot of scars, a lot of healing, but wear them proudly. Because some of those people that look the most battered, beat up, rough around the edges have been through the worst shit. And they're some of the strongest, kindest, most giving, happy, healthy, generous people you'll ever meet, because they know what it feels like to either experience it on the other side or be the person to dish it out, and they've really grown from it. If you have access to social media and you know you cannot handle negativity or bullying, because that's where most of the bullying comes from, is social media comments. Look at all the comment threads. Get off of it. Don't look at them. I know it's easier said than done, but get into a routine of not acknowledging, looking at, or even getting to the comment section of posts. Don't do it. No matter what your age, if you can't handle it, don't do it. Tell me down below, what are your thoughts on bullying? What are some pieces of advice that you have for people that may be going through it, especially some of the younger kids that are seeing things? Until next time, bye.